Welcome back to Premier Study Investing. Wonderful to have you. We normally look at a lot of different stocks, investment strategies, maybe risk management when it comes to portfolios, how to build those. I want to do a new video, a little twist. There's a lot of different ways you can make money in accounting and finance. One is getting a good brokerage account and investing wisely and learning that skill set. If you really love that kind of thing, if you like looking at balance sheets and cash flows and evaluating, different, say, 10Ks or whatever, you can make a lot of money if you want to do that as a professional, getting into an accounting or finance degree. Last year, I passed the second exam for the CMA. This is the Certified Management Accountant, and it was a great course. I want to tell you a little bit about why I got into it, what I learned during the time, and some of my reflections on it. So if you're not familiar with this, the Certified Management Accountant, as you can see on the screen, is put out by an organization called the IMA. It's really it's an international designation. Let's start there. It looks at both the differences between IFRS, which is used internationally, and US GAAP, which is used, of course, in the United States. For Americans, kind of the gold standard if you want to really become a accounting professional would be the CPA, Certified Public Accountant. But if anyone's interested in working overseas, or most of the world uses IFRS, it's something different to look at. It's also like management accounting is the title. So you can see just from that it's going to have a lot more to do with decision making, with is this project profitable? Let me show you some of the things that they say. So the CMA is really broken down into two exams, two 4-hour exams, part one and part two. So part one is financial planning, performance, and analysis. This is the more difficult part. I scored higher on the second part than I did on the first part. And that's true for the pass rates that we'll look at in a second as far as comparing part one and part two. So financial planning and analysis, 4 hours, 100 multiple choice questions, 4 essay questions. External financial reporting and decision making, planning, budgeting, and forecasting, performance management, cost management, internal controls, technology, and analytics. So they've changed some of the weights that they put on some of these, and they've shifted more in recent years to a larger focus on technology and a little bit away from internal auditing is the word I was looking for. So internal controls, technology, and analytics is a bigger part. And then strategic financial management. This part seems to be a little bit easier. Depends what your background is, but again, 4 hours, 100 questions, 2 essay questions. So financial statement analysis, corporate finance, decision analysis, risk management, investing decisions, and professional ethics. Of course, professional ethics is always a big one. Let me tell you a little bit about how I got into it. I was actually going along. My background is I have a master's degree in finance. I've taken I think 12 courses in accounting. So I was not an accounting major before getting into this. And what had happened when the pandemic rolled out, the CFA program really canceled a lot of exam opportunities. And I was like, we're in the middle of a recession. What should we do? I looked around and I saw this. It has a lot of things that's similar. And I felt like there was a good amount of overlap between CFA. This is Chartered Financial Analyst. This is more for people that want to work in, say, portfolio management or something more related to finance. But I saw, this is really something good. The CFA changed a lot of their testing windows. But at the time, it was going to be like a 2 to 3 year process. This, they offer it a lot more times. It's only 2 exams. And you know what? I was like, let me check this out. And I ended up doing it. And I liked it a lot, actually. I'll scroll down a little bit to give us a little bit more insights into what this is. So balance sheet, income statement, typical stuff, statement of changes in equity, cash flows, integrated reporting, asset valuation, valuation of liabilities, equity transactions, revenue recognition, income measures, major differences between GAAP and IFRS. So it's not easy at all. I mean, this is pretty intense. And like I said, I already had the background in finance. I'd taken 3 extra courses on the side. I started an MBA program, so I already had like corporate finance and some of that stuff, and then jumped over into the full-blown Masters of Finance. Additionally, as I was going through this, I was building this YouTube channel. I have another YouTube channel, and I took 2 accounting courses that I'm doing online as part of a certificate. That was pretty much all I could handle, and that was a lot. I'll tell you a little bit, but basically, I would say, and I'll show you an article that supports this, about 6 months. You need to set aside to, prepare and then take the exams and really make sure you're ready, because it's not easy and it does take a lot of time. I listened to different people on YouTube that said, I just studied this for 6 months straight, and they thought, oh man, I'm never going to get this. They were able to pass, I think, both. But anyway, so I was able to pass both as well. We'll look at some of the pass rates, about how many people are able to do that consecutively without a retake. Some of these other things you can see on the screen: budgeting concepts, strategic planning. Before we jump over just these last parts, budgeting methodology, so putting together an annual budget, going from master budgets, project budgets, different ways that you could do it, flexible budgets, rolling budgets, which is very important. I think I really, really love that part, actually, and I had an interview. I did not get the offer for it, but, I definitely was like, okay, they really wanted someone to zero in on their budgets. They were doing a new thing at this university. They were going to build some new buildings and some things like this, and I said, I'd love to jump into that, and I mean, I was credible because I had done all this work, and that was a big part of it. Anyway, annual profit plan and supporting schedule, so operation budget, financial budgets, capital budgets, and then top level planning, so pro forma income, financial statement projections, cash flow projections. And it just continues to go on. So you can see that there's a lot. I'm not going to read all of these things for you, but performance measures, KPIs, cost management. So this is kind of more typically like your managerial accounting type of stuff. Standard costs, absorption costs, variable costing. So like I said, I stopped. I was going along, and then I stopped and I did these 2 accounting courses. So one was like a kind of beginner, like, journal entries and stuff like that. And the other one was on cost accounting. And so when I came to variable costing, it was like, okay, we just did this, like, no problem. So those courses worked out. I would have been in more of a difficult situation if, say, they were related to something more, removed. I mean, just something else, maybe like on Excel or something. So it helped to a little degree that those, there's some overlap there, but really, I mean, you can see there's a lot of information. For example, like I have the books from Wiley, so I ended up doing the Wiley's exam, and you can see, I mean, this is a ton of pages, and you're tested on everything, and so there's 2 of these, like a huge amount of pages. These are 700-page books. And so they mostly use videos. I use these more as like a reference, but I love these flashcards. Not all of the other programs or prep companies use flashcards or give you flashcards, like Gleam doesn't, but Wiley's, I've used them before. They were, I think, the most expensive, but I loved them. They were really great. I'll tell you more about some of the different things: overhead costs, supply chain management, business process improvement. And so I was actually like getting pretty pumped on this. It was like internal controls, governance, risk, compliance, system control. So getting into network security and stuff like that, technical analysis, information systems, data governance, technology-enabled finance transformation, data analysis. And a lot of these are like $10 words, but I mean, really, this is a fairly wide scope of things you're going to be looking at. Financial ratios, that's pretty like, business school, college type stuff. Corporate restructuring, but like a lot just international. I mean, it was just, I really, really liked it. I wasn't exactly sure what I was getting into. I looked at this stuff, of course, but some of these things I was not exactly 100% familiar with. Some of them I was familiar with it. But like I said, because of the test that got canceled with the Chartered Financial Analyst exams, I said, I'm going to do this. This is going to be great. I need like a short, boost. And I think it has really helped as far as LinkedIn hits and stuff like this. So this is from Wiley's True Cost of the CMA and Time and Money. And I'm just going to skip to the bottom here because they give you, again, the same breakdowns that we saw. The thing that I think is really interesting is people say, you'll see this 90 to 100 study hours for part 1, 90 to 100 study hours part 2. Other people will say, no, it should be higher than that. If you go to like I Passed the CMA, we'll look at that in a second, which is another website. And a lot of people do blogs. But if we go to the end here, the true cost of the CMA exam, time, 6 months, 200 hours of study time minimum. And I, yes, agree. Put minimum, put the stars there because, like I said, another gentleman on YouTube, he set aside 6 whole months. That's all he did. He passed 1 and 2 right away. I did the same thing, but like I said, I was doing like a couple YouTube channels and I was taking a couple accounting courses and I already had a really strong background in finance. And so, yeah, 6 months, I would say 6 months it's going to take where you should basically like not plan on doing anything else. And if you're going to be working during that time, that's a different, ask somebody else that question, But, and then about $3,000. Yeah, so I ran like a little spreadsheet. I had 2,600 is what I estimated. So right here within this ballpark. But I think it was well worth it. Now here's I passed the CMA exam. They have a lot of great information, including they do a lot of like coupons. You can find links to coupons if you want to get some prep material and get a discount. You can see, if we look at this here, that back in the day, 2013 here, the pass rates were especially really bad for part 1, 35, 36, 35% for 4 years or so. And then it kind of continued, like they got up to 40%, but then it fell back down to 35%. And so what they have really tried to do is even those two out where the pass rates aren't so high. So now it's 45 and 45. The point is, if you multiply those two numbers together, the chances of passing both exams consecutively without needing to retake is about 20% of test takers. So one of the reasons I went and spent the extra money on Wiley's, even though it was very expensive, and got the package and all that, was because I didn't want to pay the extra like $300 or whatever it was for the retake. I thought I'd rather put my money in and go all in, try to pass both exams, one right after another, put this thing behind me, and go back on my way to the CFA, to working, and these other things. So yeah, it's not. I mean, what this basically is most people fail. Okay, this exam and this exam. So I love Investopedia. They have a great number of articles for all kinds of things related to finance and investing, and they'll do a little breakdown for like what are the best CMA exam prep courses, and so you can go and check this out. I'll leave it in the links, and it just tells you the pros and the cons and about how much it's going to cost and things like that. So good to know. So part of the total like $2,600 is getting a membership to the IMA, paying for the exams. You have the Prometrics exams, and then you gotta sign up for one of these courses, which can be kind of pricey, like $1,800. Looks like they knocked off some money, and you can keep using it until you pass, which is nice. So most of these are run on like video platforms, so they basically have like a talking head. But I really liked, you got to find a course where you enjoy the instructor and you feel like you can connect with them. So the thing I liked about Wiley's is they had maybe 5 or 6 different instructors that rotated through the different segments. So it wasn't the same person teaching you the whole course. This is Monty Swain. He is one of the instructors, and I just liked him. So I think one of the things that you should definitely do is take advantage of the free trials that these companies offer. Sign up for a 14-day trial, or like Gleim did one, and others, But I think, if it's going to be one person basically talking to you, you got to be able to feel like, yeah, I like how this person communicates. I like the way this is set up. And so that is really great. So for example, we can look at table 2, salary and compensation by region. We have on the left annual base salary, and this is total compensation with any bonuses, things of that nature. So let's, start at all countries. The mean, $72,000, and then median, $60,000. So those top earners are really pulling it up. And then total compensation, 86, 67.5. Okay. And then it just varies by different regions. If, Europe seems to pay really well, America seem to pay really well, but it just depends what the cost of living is in the region that we're talking about. But these are very good numbers. In general, this is the averages, either the mean or the median. And so, of course, some of those upper ranges would be higher once you get more experience and move into some of those more senior leadership or management roles. But hey, these are really good. So I think I'll leave it off with that. For me, it worked out great because of the timing. So I was thinking, they offer it so much more often. They offer it 3 times a year. And so that gives you 9 shots in 3 years, and you only have to pass 2 exams. And yeah, maybe you're not going to be like a hedge fund manager or something, but you can still keep working on that if that's your end goal, and still make some better money on the way. And so, yeah, so some of the companies, that I've been talking with, somewhere between $60,000 and like $80,000, $85,000 has been kind of the range of different numbers that people are throwing out as far as, coming in and doing this type of work, doing this type of business analysis, looking at all types of different things from cost per unit to forecasting and on and on and on. So it's pretty good. I hope you guys can check it out. Thanks for visiting. Like I said, check out those different sites, and then definitely take advantage of their free trial phases before you go ahead and flop down $1,200 or $1,300. Best of luck to everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here at Premier Study and Investing. We'll talk to you next time.